Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. It's been
Nice to see you.
a while.
I like your nail polish.
Oh, thank you very much.
I took mine off.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
The
but I got
nerves.
my toes on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of course.
We have the same sneakers, actually.
No, these are Bad Bunny sneakers.
These are the Bad Bunny.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're really.
Oh, wow.
The Benito ones.
Wow, very cool.
Yours are cooler.
Yeah, the newer.
Yeah. Tell me something. I've read that Jacob's Ladder and Do the Right Thing are important movies.
Jacob's Ladder
And Do the Right Thing.
Do the Right Thing, sure, yeah.
I noticed some echoes of those films.
Really?
In this one, because the character is going through trauma, but also the city is going through trauma.
Interesting.
Or at least it remembered me the trauma of the Twin Towers, because we get to see them.
Yeah.
Was that something conscious, or now I notice that maybe not?
No, it's completely unconscious, but very interesting.
Why was it important to, to place the story in that moment, in that place?
I just thought it was interesting. Of course, when you start to do a film, it would be much easier to do it in present day. But the more I thought about it, I felt like the 90s just had this special kind of moment in time, and it would be interesting to recreate it. My career started 26 years ago with Pi, which was 1998, so it was a very kind of magical year for me. I thought, the world was different back then in so many ways, and I felt this story made much more sense in that world, because communication was harder. So and it was also, I feel like people have a lot of FOMO for the 90s. And so I thought that might attract people to come to the theater.
It's interesting that you mentioned Pi, because I remember in Pi, the Max character, he's had these migraines because he watched the sun very early in his life. He's carrying with that burden, And this character is also carrying with the burden that has to do with him like flying too close to the sun very early in his life.
A little bit.
That happened also in The Wrestler, for example.
True.
Why are you attracted to these characters that fly too close to the sun and then they
Once again, a really good question. You ask things no one else has asked. I don't know. I think it's interesting. There's something about risk takers that is attractive, I guess. And it's funny because I think, I don't know, I imagine it has to do with something. You think about all the close calls that one takes in their youth, where one thing could have gone wrong and everything would be different. And that's like a scary moment. And all of these characters sort of, something has gone wrong in that moment. So I think that's something I think about.
The film made me think a lot about The Fountain, because The Fountain happens in a very large span of time.
Yeah.
And this one happens in a very short span of time. I know that you're a big Today's One Night fan also, the Darden brothers. Why did you feel attracted to do a movie that happens in such a short span of time? What's your obsession with, developing stories in short and large spans of time?
I felt it was interesting, sort of in the tradition of After Hours, where things sort of get crazier and keep going crazier and crazier. There was something about a small town kid, big city problems, that just sort of felt like a really interesting story. That's very much New York. We've all had nights in New York where one thing leads to the next and to the next and to the next, and things just get crazier and crazier, and it was that type of mood I wanted to capture.
You talk about the 90s, and I noticed that you don't have that much of a score here. You have more soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like a lot of needle drops. It made me think, why did you took that choice? Because you could have asked any composer to do
there is a score in there. It sounds like it's needle drops, but there's probably about 30, 40 minutes of score music in it. Next time you see it, you'll see. But it's all performed by idols. That's what's interesting about it. So it sounds like rock music, but it actually is score. The
decision of putting this apparently, clean-shaved guy played by Austin Butler in a certain way against this punk rock character, is that something that in a certain way mirrors like a duality that you have? Because I watch your movies and you're like so punk rock in the development of them, but you're so clean-shaved in the way that you polish them.
You think that's the duality of me and
maybe?
And me? I don't know. I mean, in the book, Russ was not a punk rocker. He was actually a neighbor that looked a lot like Austin and just wasn't very distinct. So we spent a lot of time developing the character. Originally, it was just a punk, and we were trying to cast American actors. And then I had one actor who came in who did a very good American accent, but he was a British actor. And I said, hey, why don't you do it with a British accent? And I kind of loved it. And I was like, I wonder what would happen if we rewrote it, you know, that where instead of going upstate, he's actually going to, or I think it was Toronto, he's going to go to London. And it just worked. And then I started to think about English actors, and then Matt Smith showed up. So I don't know if I'm like really channeling anything, but maybe I am unconsciously. It's more about like, how do I create a cool character? And that was the fun part in this, is like the characters existed on the page, but then the casting became so significant. And then when I cast them, it changed. So the same thing with Bad Bunny, which was, the character was really not defined until we landed on a Puerto Rican actor playing a Puerto Rican character. And then who would that have been in the East Village in the 90s? And that's when we stumbled on Colorado.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Darren, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love
nice
the movie.
To see you again.
Nice to see you.
Thank you. Really nice. Great questions.
Thank you very much.
See you next time.